Hi everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. So I've just got this fun idea to share with you guys. I was having a play around with my scrap basket. Let me go grab it. It actually looks nice and neat, or relatively neat at the moment. Before, this was overflowing like chockers. See, now there's this nice big gap here. Before it was like up to here and just bits hanging out like this over the edge. And yeah, I don't like the look of that. So I wanted to get using these pieces of scraps in a fun way. So I used to, or I have in the past, made, where are they? Scrap clusters with them, but just using coffee dyed papers, and I ran out of coffee dyed papers to make scrap clusters. So I was like, what else can I do? What can I do to use all these scraps? And I was inspired by Liz at the Paper Project. She kind of does, I don't know what she calls them, but I see her prepare her pages in her junk journal with me's, and I'll link her below so you can check her out. But yeah, she's one of my favorites, and she gives me so much inspiration and ideas, and this is just yet another idea. I'm calling them scrap pads because they're like little notepads, and there's all different styles, and I'll kind of walk you through what my ideas are for these and the greater meaning behind it, or the deeper meaning behind it, and how it all kind of evolved. So I started off with just these little thin narrow ones, and all you do is you just layer different size scrap pieces on top of each other so that it forms a nice looking collage. And then I love the fact that it looks awesome, it looks decorative. It's like a ready-made collage that you can just stick on a page to decorate, and then you could have it as a tuck spot or something, a pocket, if you glued it down on three sides, that kind of thing. Or you could, let's see, hang on, I've got to get like a journal. Hang on, let me grab my challenge journal. So for example, I could grab this and stick it like so. And it's just like a decorative bit that hangs over the edge, and that way people can move it around, stick it wherever they want, and use it however they want. Another option is just to glue it down, and then you've got a nice decoration there on the page. And the fact that it's not just decorative but interactive is what I love about it. So it's just a bit of more interest on the page, not just a straight collage. The other thing I like about it is that it can be functional as well. So you could write little notes on here, and it could be like secret journaling. You could write a little quote here, or just jot down a thought or a sentiment or a scripture or a little poem or something. And that's when I got my idea to make them a bit bigger, which you'll see later with an actual scrap pad, like a notepad made out of beautiful scraps. It's like a collage pad. But I made a lot. So let me just show you all of them so you can get an idea or some inspiration of all the different types and styles you can do. What I do is pull out papers that go together. So if I have the offcuts of a scrap pad, this is what this is, offcuts. So keep your offcuts. Some of these are larger pieces, but these ones are the narrow ones. And yeah, just really fun getting the same kind of papers together. These ones are neutral and more vintage in color scheme. And I just love how it's so interactive. You can flip them up, you can do whatever you want with them. So I made a bunch of these narrow ones first. And then I started to branch out and make wider ones. And you can do like, really wide, you can do short, long, you can do full size page if you want, and you just have a whole page of just this collage. And you can experiment with like ripping some of the pieces, and some are straight edged. And yeah, I just really love the layered look, and also using different types of papers, like a variety. So you got vellum here, got different weights, the music paper, book pages, scrapbook papers, and just all sorts of different scrap pieces that just work well together. There's some coffee dyed paper there too, some craft papers. And I just love the variety and how it looks together, and the interactivity, and the fact that it's useful. So you could write all your journaling on a page. Stick a photo here, stick a photo on the vellum maybe. Stick more pieces of scraps on there and add your own journaling spaces. So yeah, there's a bunch of these neutral toned ones. This one I've used a bit more ledger paper in here, some book pages. It gets more colourful later on and I'll show you that, so it doesn't just have to be vintage, but just I've even used wallpaper there, colouring in book paper. So I just love, yeah, the combination. You can just really have fun, and like having different sizes. You can have an asymmetrical one, a symmetrical one. Just, it's so fun. I really, really enjoyed this. As you can see, I made so many because it was just so fun, because everyone turns out different. This is textured paper. Everyone is unique. So then I've got some blue ones, and yeah, I love it because also it captures my favorite pieces as well. So every little piece has a story. It's like, yeah, I know where I got that from. I know where I got that. I know who I got that from. And that's some of my own art papers that might look familiar. And just, you know, this one's kind of see-through paper, and they all have a story. They all remind me of past journals that I have made, because these are all, you know, the offcuts and scraps from journals that I've actually made. And yeah, I love kind of documenting it in this form, and I've had fun now adding these to journal pages. And I love the idea that you can use them in so many different ways, as tuck spots, pockets, straight decoration, or as a notepad, or all of the above. I love this piece here. This is actually an original from my artwork, a little scrap from one of my originals. And just, yeah, just a fun variety of papers here. Okay, so I won't go through flipping every single one. I'll just show you some of my favorite pieces. I love this paper here with the blue flower. Just bits and pieces here. And then again, like you could, all this space to journal on, all this space to put a photo or add your own ephemera. And it's like a little flip book. And you could even just do your journaling on one day on this. Just an idea, I don't know. A ready-made little tiny journal. So many ways to use this. This is why I love it. It's just so versatile. Yeah, lots and lots of blue, lots of pretty pieces. It was just, oh, I love this one. I've got some journal covers coming soon with that fabric. Well, it's not fabric, it's just this really beautiful textured paper. And yeah, just some favorite pieces. And then I'll get to these other colors in a second, but this is a bit of a template for the direction I kind of want to go as well for me. So when I make a journal, one way for me to remember the items that I used in it and the color scheme and the style and the theme, I can keep some of the offcuts from it. And so this is from the sewing journal that I made, and this will always remind me of that sewing journal. And I've always wanted to document every single journal that I've made somehow. I've taken pictures of every single one. I've taken a video of every one, or well, most of them anyway. But I want to do something else where I record every journal that I make in my own journal. So every page, one page for each journal that I've made. And I've kept little offcuts from every journal, or most of the journals that I've made, so that I can do that. But I just haven't got around to it. It's going to be a big project, going all the way back to the beginning. But I like this idea because it's nice and compact. I love, like I said, the interactivity. And there it is. There's all the pieces. I think, though, the only problem with this, if I did this for every single journal that I made, is that it would bulk up the pages quite a lot, because, you know, there's a lot of paper here. But maybe if I evened it out, you know, put one here, one there on the next page, one there on the next page, it would kind of be even. But I love this idea, so I want to do this for every journal that I make. Kind of like a swatch, or like a concept idea journal. Like I don't tend to work out my ideas before making a journal, but if I did want to do that, I could get, you know, arrange my colored pieces together in different ribbons and textiles and things, so that I have this inspiration collage piece for me. If that's how you work, you like to have it all first and you can see it there before you make the journal, maybe that will help you. I don't know, just throwing out ideas. But for me, I like this one in particular because it has that more meaning to it than just random papers together. Even though each piece has a meaning, this one, it all comes together as one journal, well, one memory of one specific journal. So just an idea. So then I'll show you the pink ones. This is actually from a bag. And just, again, all different types of papers, vellum, coffee dye, scrapbook papers, offcuts. Oh, there's some green ones. But let's go with the pink first. There's some butterfly. Oh, I love that one. That looks pretty. This one is so sweet. Like, just depending on all the pages you use, you can just get such different looks. And now I love doing this in bulk as well, because now I can just rifle through here, pick one out that I think will suit any journal that I make. So from now on, pretty much every journal that I make until I finish using all this will have one of these, I think. Because, yeah, you can just make one to suit any journal. Look at that, so pretty. So, yeah, some bigger ones at the back. Like all that journaling space, all here. That's really pretty. So there's some purple ones too. Love this scrap. And I like how I usually put something on the top that is my feature piece or my favorite piece, and that way it just, yeah, it really commemorates it and shows it off, I suppose. So I've been keeping little scraps like that that just really speak to me, and now I know what to do with them, to put them on the top of these scrap pads. If you can think of a better name, just let me know. Or if you know of a name that, like, I'm sure tons of people have done this before and have done different varieties of this. So if there's an actual official name for this, just let me know. That for now, I'm just calling them scrap pads or scrap collage pads. But I wanted to kind of emphasize the idea that you can use it like a notepad, especially the wider ones. And yeah, you literally just one or two staples, depending on how wide you put it across. And yeah, so these are just the green ones. Oh, hang on. There's another pinkish one. There's some green. These ones I did a bit more nature themed. It's with the flowers on the pieces. So again, leaves, flowers. Love that mermaid paper. This one's cool because I use a whole bunch of different types. This type of paper. This is so beautiful. I love that. And this kind of handmade paper with an actual leaf in it. Some vellum and some more like really textured type of handmade paper. And yeah, I usually put about 7 pieces together, but it can range from 5 to 8, really. You don't need heaps and heaps. You could do more, but I just don't like it bulking up too much. And yeah, just a whole variety. Really fun making these, really simple. 2 yellow ones, because yellow is my least favourite colour, so there's only 2. But I love that little piece there, and just some yellow pieces. Really cool paper there. And ledger paper. So yeah, that is my scrap pad embellishment idea for you to try. Go try it, seriously. It is so fun. Do it. Because we all have scraps, right? I'm sure everyone has a tub like me or a basket full of scraps, and if you don't throw them out, because you can create really cool things that aren't just, you know, pretty, but useful. I love the fact that they're useful, and I love the interactivity. Like, you just flip, 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 flip. So there's an idea for you guys. I hope you like it. You've probably seen it before, but, you know, just sharing my version of it anyway, in case it's helpful, and gets you using up your scraps and making some pretty things for your own journals. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!